So when you think of stocks that can double, 2x your money, you think of these high risk, risky investments really that could make you money, but also could lose you a ton of money. But what if I told you there's a giant company, one of the largest in the world, that has the potential to actually double your money in a fairly short period of time? Now guys, this video isn't a get rich quick or get rich overnight by buying the next penny stock or SPAC stock. No. This is a legit business that has the potential to pretty easily double your money over the next few years. In my mind, I think this stock could actually be the next Microsoft. So Nick, what is this safe high growth stock you're discussing? So in this video, I'm going to first reveal the stock and today's valuation. I'm not going to keep you guys waiting for too long this time because I did get your feedback from the last video and I do listen to your comments. Secondly, why do I think this stock will double your money? We'll talk about that. And then finally, is it a buy here today? So guys, turn that like button blue, smash the like button down below, do whatever you want, just hit the like because it helps the channel out tremendously and I truly do appreciate your support. Okay, so here we go, revealing the stock and today's valuation. The stock is Salesforce. I think this company can pretty easily double your money and is a business that I consider a very safe investment. Salesforce has been making headlines recently with their Slack acquisition, making it one of, if not the largest acquisition for any business in 2020. And I think this positions the company for continued success going forward. Okay, now before you click off the video because you know what this stock is, hear me out. I think that you learned quite a bit here with Salesforce, my valuation, my thinking behind this business, and this could actually help you with a lot of other investments going forward as well. I think this company is actually quite undervalued today, and I'm going to share why with you shortly. So ever since there were rumors of this buyout, the market has pretty much punished Salesforce, and the stock has sold off quite a bit since. And this kind of makes sense. If you look at Salesforce's fundamentals, they are spending quite a bit of money here with this massive Slack acquisition. Not to mention, Slack is still an unprofitable business. So yeah, investors are not too thrilled about that because Salesforce, on the other hand, is a highly profitable business. So think of it this way. Salesforce is a $200 billion company today and they are spending $27 billion on Slack. So that's over 10% of the company's value that is being spent on this acquisition. If we look at the assets briefly here, they only have around $9.5 billion sitting in cash with around $15 billion sitting in total assets. So this deal is actually being funded with additional risk. So yes, I get why investors are selling their Salesforce stock on this news, but simultaneously, investors that have been holding Slack have been doing extremely well, like myself in fact, because I, with many others, saw the potential with this business with or without Salesforce. But now with this acquisition, it gives them a much more stronger footing to compete head-to-head with Microsoft Teams. Now, I don't want to spend too much time going into Slack's business here. We've done that in previous videos. But all I want to say is I'm happy with this acquisition. I think it was a smart move for Salesforce. Obviously, as a Slack investor, I think it's a great move because I've made a ton of money on this investment. And I'm excited for what the future for these two businesses combined holds. Okay, now, so getting into the meat of this video, why do I think that Salesforce stock can actually double or 2x your money? So check this out. Salesforce is a growth monster. They're expected to complete 2020 with over 23% growth year over year. And this is expected to remain strong in 2021 with over 20% growth once again. For a $200 billion giant, this is nothing to sneeze at and it puts it on par with some of the best high growth companies in the entire world. But here's something I think the market is ignoring right now. It's not realizing completely. And that is that after this acquisition completes and Slack is officially a part of Salesforce, they're going to contribute to some more growth for Salesforce as a whole company. Slack is growing by 40% this year, and that growth will slow in 2021, but still remains at nearly 30% year over year. So all I see with this acquisition from both sides, both companies, is growth, strong businesses, high margins, potential for massive profits in the future. I'm liking what I see. Today, Salesforce is trading at around a 10x price to sales, which I think is reasonable for a company of this strong growth. And with their new combination with Slack, I think it may even command a higher price to sales, but let's just remember this 10x number for now. This is where I see the combined company going on a conservative basis over the next few years. By 2024, guys, I think Salesforce can crack that $40 billion revenue mark, and this is big because if we assume a 10x multiple for price to sales, this puts their market cap at $400 billion. $400 billion, that coincidentally aligns with what today's market cap is roughly, which is around $200 billion. In other words, this would be a nice 2x in just a few years on Salesforce. Now, looking a bit even further, I think that Salesforce has the potential to be an even larger company, a $500 billion giant by sometime in 2025, 2026, 4 to 5 years or so. I think that they're going to be able to achieve this. And based on my research, I think they may even exceed that. Looking at the revenue projections again, by the end of this decade, Salesforce should become a $1 trillion giant, assuming their growth continues. But that's kind of more of a stretch in my opinion, but still fun to project out and see the possibility based on what we see today. But now based on what Salesforce is telling us directly, this is straight from the company themselves, they should hit $50 billion by 2026. So assuming these projections remain, we're in a very strong position today at today's prices. Okay, now here's the thing though with Salesforce compared to some massive giants out there, those $1 trillion+ giants. Salesforce is a company that's focused on the enterprise space. Because of this, their products are very sticky, but also simultaneously because of this, I don't think that the potential is as large as some other companies out there. So think of the largest companies in the world. You have Apple, right? Apple is a $2 trillion+ giant, but they're primarily focused on consumers. They sell a ton of consumer products. You have Amazon. Amazon is a $1.6 trillion giant. They have a mix of consumer and they also have some enterprise with AWS. Microsoft, another $1.6 trillion giant, again, similar to Amazon, a mix of consumer and enterprise with Azure. Google, another $1.1 trillion company, again, mix of consumer with an additional focus on enterprise with things like GCP. I think the trend's pretty clear. All of these large companies, the largest businesses in the world, have a component of consumer and enterprise. And I think that consumer component is very powerful for pushing these companies to where they're at today. So because of this, I think that Salesforce's potential really is capped. They're focused on enterprise and only enterprise right now, but who knows? Maybe in the future they surprise us. They release some sort of Zoom competitor. Maybe they buy a company like Zoom, who knows? And they focus heavily on consumers as well. It's a possibility because like I said, this company I think is gonna be like the next Microsoft. And like we just said, Microsoft is a both consumer and enterprise company. I think Salesforce has the potential to do that as well. So I'll keep a close eye on it over the next few years. If they do acquire a company that's more consumer facing, you can bet that their long-term focus is also to have a strong consumer division, and that could be the catalyst to push this company to over $1 trillion in the next decade. But we'll see. Either way, I see a ton of upside in Salesforce at today's prices. This company has a massive growing TAM, total addressable market, and they're really going after this head first, and this TAM is only going to increase now that they've acquired Slack. They're the clear winner by a significant margin, and they keep stealing market share away from these old, boring companies in the space who have failed to innovate over many decades. Salesforce, guys, is a well-run business with strong fundamentals backing it up and a strong future ahead of it, and the numbers speak for itself. But now with all that being said, is it a buy here today? Short answer, yes. Long answer, yes. So I think that by buying Salesforce today, around $220, $230 per share, don't know where the price is going to be when I release this video, probably going to be around that range. I think you're paying a fair value for this business. By no means do I think this is cheap today. By no means do I think this is expensive today. I think it's fair, I think it's reasonable, and I think that, based on its historical metrics and based on its future projections, you're getting a pretty decent deal. But keep in mind, this is a company that's growing massively. This is a company that is highly profitable. This is a company that just keeps expanding and innovating. So you gotta pay up for that. You gotta pay a pretty penny, and investors so far have realized that and have been paying for it. But ever since the Slack acquisition, the Slack deal has been announced, It spooked investors a little bit. They're not sure if this integration is going to go well, if it's going to pan out, if this $27 billion acquisition is actually going to make them money over the long term, and that's kind of where the opportunity lies for us as just regular retail investors. Now, I know a lot of people are waiting for like $220 per share, $210 per share, $200 per share. And I get that. You want to get the best price when you're buying stocks. And, I'm the same as well. But here's the thing. Think of it this way. If you're looking at this company, if you want to build this into a large position over the long term, doesn't matter if you buy it at $210 per share versus $230. If you think the stock is going to go to, 400 plus per share, $500 per share in the next, 4 or 5 years or so, I don't know. To me, that's not too big of a deal breaker, and I'm perfectly fine averaging down on the position if the stock, say, corrects another 10-20% and drops under 200 per share. You never know what the market holds for us in the future, but that's why I always say keep cash on the sidelines, because if these opportunities arise and Salesforce becomes cheap or undervalued, hey, you know that the opportunity is there, and that's when you want to load even heavier on the stock. Just remember, strong companies, if they keep innovating, keep getting stronger over time, which means their stock prices keep going higher over time, and as investors, we want to capitalize on this. So again, while I think Salesforce is, a fair value today, I think it has the potential to pretty easily double our money in the next few years with fairly low risk involved. And when I look at the other tech giants, seeing this company at a $200 billion market cap, I think it should be valued a little bit higher than that. So I'm placing my bet on that, and I've started building out a Salesforce position as I discussed with my members in our VIP group. Guys, if you're interested in joining that group and you want to chat with me in that Discord, link description down below, check it out, join the group, try it out for a month because prices are going up in 2021. Anyways, guys, hope you found value in this video. If you did, smash the like button down below. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on Salesforce is. But either way, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to invest positively, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.